What if I told you that right now scientists have actually found planets that are significantly better for life than Earth? These are places where civilizations could be thriving for billions of years longer than we have even existed. Imagine planets so close together that you could literally vacation on different worlds, just like visiting different countries. And one of them might be entirely covered in a massive ocean, hundreds of kilometers deep, hiding alien life forms we cannot even imagine. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you will completely change how you see our place in the universe. If you are captivated by the idea of discovering worlds better than Earth and want to see more mind-bending cosmic stories, smash that like button and let the universe know you are watching. Every single click helps keep the search for the unknown alive. Here is something that genuinely keeps me up at night. Earth is the only place in the entire universe where we know life exists. We have searched Mars, Venus, the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and so far we have found nothing, complete silence. But here is the thing that really doesn't make sense. There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on every beach on Earth. Think about that for a second. More stars than grains of sand. And nearly every single one of those stars has its own planets orbiting around it. So the idea that we are alone, that Earth is the only inhabited world in this massive cosmic ocean, it just doesn't add up. And the best part is that we have actually found some incredibly promising candidates, real planets out there that could be home to life. But I am not talking about boring, dusty rocks like Mars. I am talking about super habitable worlds, planets that are bigger, better, and more suited for life than Earth itself. Hey, let me introduce you to the first one. This planet has a terrible name, I will be honest. It is called KOI 5715.01. I know, not exactly catchy, but forget the name for a second, because this world is considered the best candidate for a super habitable planet ever discovered. Picture this: a massive rocky world twice the size of Earth. Twice the size. That means more land, more oceans, and more space for life to evolve and thrive. You could spend over 100 hours just flying between continents on this planet. But here is what makes it truly special. It orbits in the habitable zone of its star, that magical sweet spot where conditions are just right for liquid water to exist on the surface. And water, as far as we know, is the key ingredient for life. You know, now you might be thinking, okay, sounds great, but what is the catch? Well, let me tell you why this planet is even more incredible than you realize. Our sun is what astronomers call a G-type main sequence star, sometimes called a yellow dwarf. And these stars, they only stick around for about 10 billion years. Our sun is already halfway through its life cycle. In about 5 billion years, it is going to expand into a red giant and probably consume Earth in the process. Everything we have ever known gone. But this planet, KOI 5715.01, it orbits an orange dwarf star. These stars are smaller than our sun, but so much more stable. They can hang around for up to 70 billion years. 70 billion years. Life on Earth has been evolving for just 4 billion years. And look how far we have come. Humans, technology, consciousness, all in just 4 billion years. Now imagine what life might look like after 70 billion years of evolution. That is when you start getting into advanced civilizations, Dyson spheres, and technology we cannot even comprehend. But before you start packing your bags, I need to be honest with you. This planet is 3,000 light years away. If we left today in the fastest spacecraft we currently have, NASA's Orion, it would take us over 100,000 years to get there. 100,000 years. So for now, we can only dream about what might be happening over there right now. What forms of life might be thriving, what civilizations might be building, what they might be discovering about the universe. And later I'm going to tell you about a planet so close that we might actually be able to visit it in our lifetimes. But first, let me show you something even more incredible. Just 39 light years away, we discovered something that changed everything. 7 Earth-sized worlds, all huddled tightly around their star. 7 planets, 3 of which orbit within the habitable zone. This is the TRAPPIST-1 system discovered back in 2017. And for years now, astronomers have been obsessed with this system, spending every waking minute trying to find signs of life there. Think about what this means. Not 1, not 2, but 3 potentially habitable worlds all in the same star system. And here is something that blows my mind. These planets are much older than Earth. They would have had at least 3 billion years to evolve before Earth was even finished forming, a 3 billion year head start. Scientists detected these planets using something called the transit method. Basically, they watched as the star's brightness dipped ever so slightly each time a planet passed between us and the star. And one planet in particular has scientists more excited than any other, TRAPPIST-1e, the fourth planet from the star. It is slightly smaller than Earth, but here is the kicker. We think it might have a thick oxygen atmosphere, even better for life than our atmosphere here on Earth. Just let that sink in for a moment. A planet with conditions potentially better for life than Earth. Okay, but living on these planets would be nothing like living here. The entire system is completely different from ours. The star at the center is a tiny red dwarf, about the same size as Jupiter. It is much cooler than our sun, which means the planets have to orbit really close to stay warm. So close that all 7 planets would easily fit within Mercury's orbit around our sun. Imagine that. 7 worlds packed into a space smaller than Mercury's orbit. And this creates a strange situation. We think these planets are tidally locked to their star, one side permanently facing the star, being cooked with constant heat, the other side facing away, frozen and desolate. But here is where it gets interesting. Under the right conditions, this could create a narrow band around the planet where temperatures are just right. A strip of land circling the entire world where life could thrive in perfect conditions. But what really gets me excited, what keeps me thinking about this system, is imagining what it would actually be like to live there. Picture this. You step outside and look up at the sky. Instead of seeing distant stars, you see massive planets hanging in the sky. Worlds so close you could see continents and oceans on their surface with your naked eye. You could literally take a holiday to a different planet the way we take trips to different countries. Spend winter on TRAPPIST-1H skiing down alien slopes. Then fly over to TRAPPIST-1D for a tropical summer vacation. And because it is only 39 light years away, this might not just be science fiction. This could be a reality for humanity someday. Maybe not in our lifetimes, but our children's children might actually visit these worlds. And now let me tell you about a planet that has been called Earth 2.0 Kepler 452b. This world shares so many similarities with Earth that it is almost unsettling. It orbits a sun-like star every 384 days. That is just 5% longer than our year here on Earth, which means if you live there, every month would be exactly 32 days. Doesn't that just feel right? 32-day months. No more weird February with 28 days. Everything perfectly balanced. This is what astronomers call a super-Earth. It is roughly 50% bigger than Earth, which means more land, larger continents, potentially more water, and more space for life to develop and evolve. Sounds perfect, right? Well, not so fast. Here is where things get a little tricky. While the planet is only 50% larger than Earth, it is actually 5 times more massive. 5 times. That means gravity on the surface would feel twice as strong. Everyone would weigh twice as much. Walking around would feel like you are constantly wearing a heavy backpack. Going upstairs would be exhausting. Professional athletes here on Earth would struggle with basic activities there. But here is something truly fascinating about this planet that nobody talks about. As far as we can tell, Kepler 452b is completely alone. It is the only planet in its star system. No gas giants like Jupiter or Saturn. And you might be thinking, wait, doesn't Jupiter protect us from asteroids? Wouldn't this planet just get destroyed without a Jupiter-like guardian? That is what scientists thought for decades. But recent simulations have completely flipped this idea on its head. It turns out Jupiter might not actually be our friend. New research shows that a solar system without Jupiter would actually have 3.5 times fewer asteroid collisions on Earth. Jupiter is not protecting us. It is actually causing more impacts. So Kepler 452b, being all alone, might actually be safer from asteroid strikes than Earth. A civilization there wouldn't have to worry about extinction-level impacts wiping them out. But by the end of this, you are going to learn about a planet that might be the strangest of all. A world that could redefine everything we think we know about where life can exist. Unfortunately, Kepler 452b is not perfect. Nothing ever is. The star it orbits is slightly older than our sun. And as sun-like stars age, they become more energetic, pumping out more radiation. This means the planet might be receiving too much energy, slowly warming over time. Eventually, this could trigger a runaway greenhouse effect, the same thing that happened to Venus. The temperature would skyrocket, the oceans would evaporate, and any life on the planet would be wiped out. The world would transform from an Earth-like paradise into a hellish Venus-like nightmare where nothing can survive. But before that happens, if there is life there right now, they might have millions of years to enjoy their world, maybe even time to develop technology and escape before their planet becomes uninhabitable. Which brings us to our final destination, 600 light years away in the constellation of Cygnus. This is Kepler 22b, and it is one of the most mysterious super-Earths ever discovered. This planet has stumped astronomers for years. It orbits well within the habitable zone, which means conditions should be perfect for life, but our best observations suggest something absolutely wild. This planet might be a true water world, just like that planet in Interstellar, a massive global ocean covering the entire rocky core. An ocean hundreds of kilometers deep, not just deep by Earth standards. We are talking about an ocean so deep that if you dove down, you would be descending for hours before reaching the bottom. Now imagine what life could evolve in those depths. Strange fish, unlike anything we have ever seen. Creatures that only exist in your wildest dreams. Bioluminescent organisms lighting up the darkness. Massive underwater creatures that make whales look tiny. Complex ecosystems thriving in eternal darkness thousands of kilometers below the surface could develop down there. Civilizations could exist in those alien depths, never knowing that a universe full of stars exists above their endless ocean. If humans ever made the journey across the galaxy to visit Kepler 22b, I am absolutely certain we would be in for the surprise of our lives. So here is the real question I want to leave you with. Which planet would you want to move to? The ancient world orbiting an orange dwarf that could support life for 70 billion years? The TRAPPIST-1 system where you could see other planets hanging in the sky and vacation on alien worlds? Earth 2.0 with its perfect 300-day year? Or the mysterious water world hiding unimaginable life in its depths? Each one offers something unique, something we cannot find here on Earth. And somewhere out there right now, life might actually be thriving on these worlds. Civilizations might be looking up at their skies, wondering if they are alone, just like we are. Maybe they have already discovered us. Maybe they are watching Earth right now, wondering if life exists on our pale blue dot. For now, I think I will be staying here on Earth, but knowing these worlds exist, knowing that we are not alone in having a habitable planet, it changes everything. The universe is so much bigger and stranger than we ever imagined, and we are only just beginning to explore it. Don't stop here. The universe is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Click on the next video and join us as we explore even more astonishing mysteries from the farthest reaches of space. Trust me, what we discovered next will blow your mind even more than what you just learned.